Okay, we just went through learning how to run univariate descriptive statistics in SPSS. Now we're going to look at running bivariate descriptive statistics in SPSS. I already have the data file opened. This is compass scores grades data file. And right now I have it in data view. Let's look at variable view. We're going to look at bivariate descriptive statistics. And if you recall, bivariate descriptive statistics are about looking at the intersection, if you will, of two variables, looking at them together. We want to look at that relationship. So we're first going to start off with looking at the relationship between categorical variables. When we want to look at that kind of relationship, we basically want to run a cross tabulation. So you go up to Analyze, select Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, and recall that we're going to work with three different things here: frequencies, descriptives, and crosstabs. So let's look at crosstabs. That's cross tabulations. So the window opens and it gives you the variable field on the left-hand side. We're going to look at the relationship between two categorical variables. SPSS gives you these nice little icons on the left-hand side next to the variables to show you how they're measured after you've told it that. Anything that looks like a little bar chart like this is ordinal. Anything that looks like a little Venn diagram is nominal. And anything that looks like a ruler is scale, ordinal ratio level. Okay, so two categorical variables. Let's look at gender, and I'll pick another one in a second. If you recall, one of the rules of thumb for looking at cross tabulations is to put your what you might consider an independent variable in the columns and your dependent variable in the rows. I'm going to go down here to my recoded Math 111 in the rows. Cross tabulations, let's just run this to see what it looks like for now. I selected OK. Here comes the output file. And there it is. So just running it like that, here's our cross tabulation right here where the arrow is. It gives you the counts, gives you the observed frequencies in the cross section of these variable values. So there were 21 men who were not successful in Math 111. That's how you read the crosstab. 19 females who were not successful. You get the total down the columns and you get the total across the rows. Basically, we had 188 people that had grades in Math 111. Let's do a little bit more with this, with these two variables, crosstabs. Okay, the variables are still showing up there unless I were to hit reset. Let's ask it for, let's look at what statistics I can get. We're going to talk about these statistics when we look at inferential statistics. Right now I don't need any of these. I'm just looking at descriptive statistics. These are going to come in handy when we get to Module 10, but this is how you get to them. So I'm going to cancel out of that. Right now I'm only given observed frequencies in this crosstab. But I could ask it for some other things inside the cells of that crosstab. And that's where you click on cells. Remember I mentioned independent variables in the columns? Because typically you want to read across the columns because you're trying to figure out the differences between the values of the independent variable on the dependent variable. Gender right now is my independent variable. Grade in Math 111 is my dependent variable. So I'm going to ask it for column percentages because I want percentages down the column. And that's all I'm going to ask it for now. When we get to inferential statistics in Module 10, we are going to look at this again because we are going to figure out how we can run statistics to infer from our information. But for now, I'm just going to run column percentages and select OK, or continue, and OK. All right, so here's the cross-tabulation right down here with the red arrow. And it kept our count. It still gave us our count because we were asking for observed frequencies. And it also gave us the percent down the column. So we can see that 80% of our group of 188 was female, and they were successful in intermediate algebra. So in terms of strength of this relationship, if you recall, we were looking at a 30% difference across the categories of the independent variable to be able to say this is a strong relationship. And we're not getting that. We're getting, this is an 8% difference, this is a 2% difference, basically. And so what this can tell, what you can say just by looking at this cross-tabulation without running any other statistics is there doesn't appear to be a strong relationship between gender and grade in Math 111, or I'll say success rate in Math 111. We could look at a different one. Remember, we're looking at categorical variables. Let's take out gender. Let's put in something different. Let's put in recode ethnic. Let's take out recode, Math 111. Let's look at, did they attend orientation or not? So my ethnicity is in the columns because that chronologically comes before whether or not they went to orientation. So it's going to be my independent variable. My dependent variable is going to be, did they attend orientation? I don't need the statistics right now, and because I didn't hit reset, the cells are still giving me exactly what I'd asked for before. Continue, and OK. Here comes our crosstab. Here it is with the red arrow. So recode ethnic has two values, white and other, and orientation has two values. I did not attend, did attend, attended orientation. And you can see the breakdown. 716 are other than white, 840 in our group of our entire data file was white. And in this case, you had a huge difference between white and other than white in their attendance for orientation. So in this case, this is well above 30% difference, 78 to 0.1 and 22% to about nearly 100% attending orientation if they're white. So you could say this just by looking at this, that ethnicity or race had a large impact on whether or not somebody attended orientation. And if you were looking at this and you were trying to come up with strategies for student success, and you imagine that attending orientation is pretty important to a successful first semester, this kind of information would suggest that you need to put in place some strategies to get folks who are other than white to come to orientation. So this is how you look at the relationship between two variables with descriptive statistics. These variables that are categorically measured. This ends this part of the module's presentation. Please move on to review the next part